Sanbonani guys, welcome back to yet another video, and we are speaking about the latest episode of QUEENDOM. Hey guys, a lot happened in this episode, but let's get right into it. So guys, this episode starts off with we are still at the royal court. We are still busy in Mahlangu, you guys, but today it is finally closed in a sense, but there's just something that like there's just a feeling I have, which is soon we're going to be revisiting this case again, even though apparently it's kind of closed to them. So anyway, remember the last episode, Ulokuzana Undando basically brought in Mr. Mteto, who showed evidence that Ebo actually was the one person who came before Ukamahlangu, basically. And most of us were rejoicing and saying, listen, Ebo's downfall has finally come, guys. But hey, as I was saying, Wuti, though I want to be happy, but I'm like, knowing Ebo, we should not celebrate too quickly. And guys, indeed, maybe some of us, we celebrated too quickly. So anyway, uMandlovuke is saying to uNtando, ukuthi manje, uchaza ukuthi umlondolozi njengoba he entered that room. Wayohisa inkosi ukuthi, are you trying to say Ntando ukuthi because Mlondolozi Ebo entered the room that his intentions was to go and ukudlisa the king. Baningi nje, she goes on to say ukuthi baningi nje abantu abangena kulela gumbi leyamin namqobo nje ngangena, like I went in there myself. Namkhaza ukuthi like I went in there to poison the king? Question mark. Untando goes on to say ukuthi angisho njalo Ndlovukazi, engukushoyo that despite all of that, despite that there was many people who went into that room, uKamahlangu kuphela, she is the one person who is facing a charge of trying to kill the king. So basically, she goes on to say kodwa ifootage ikhombisa ukuthi that baningi abantu abangena kulela gumbi. But yethu Kamahlangu was the only one who's sitting here facing such a charge. She goes on to say ukuthi emaqinisweni Ndlovukazi, this case actually should be dealt with by the High Court. Basically saying ukuthi le ndaba, the way is serious ngakhona, ngabe sidlulisela to people who are beyond us and above us, because yeah, these are serious accusations, guys. Anyway, uMandlovu goes on to say ukuthi ufuna ukuthi sidlulisele to a higher court ngoba eyethu inkantolo ayinamsebenzi yalutho, like basically it's useless. Untandokazi like she goes on to say Ndlovukazi, as she's trying to talk, Ebo jumps in and is like sokwanele musa ukusithethisa ingathi singabantu abangafundile thina, like Ntando, stop talking to us ingathi thina we're not learned. Untando goes on to say ukuthi angishongo njalo mina. Ebo goes on to say ukuthi wena usibukela phansi ngalento oyikhulumayo, okokuqala wena usafunda. Ebo guys, uNcebo says okokuqala wena Ntando usafunda, and awuyena ummeli, like you are not a lawyer as yet, awuyena ummeli wangempela, musa ukufunda ngathi lana. I was like, one thing about him, guys, ziyadelela ugayi wakhona. Untando goes on to say ukuthi angifundi ngani, like into engiyenzayo, I'm just presenting ubufakazi. Mandlovu goes on to say ukuthi aniyekeni lento eniyenzayo. Uncebo goes on to say ukuthi liphi iphepha lakho pho, like where's your degree, liphi iphepha lakho pho if you want to come here and act like a lawyer. Mandlovu, because now Untando and Uncebo, like they are at each other, like speaking to and fro, having a dialogue on their own, basically. Mandlovu goes on to say, yay, yekelani lento eniyenzayo. That time uKamahlangu, guys, because uMandlovu at this point, she is screaming. uKamahlangu just puts her hands over her head, like basically to say like this is overwhelming her and it's too much. uMandlovu goes on to say ukuthi kuyacaca ukuthi there are many questions that we have as the council regarding this case. Questions njengokuthi ubani owadlisa uamanzi ushevu, nokuthi who was the one who was tampering with the video, with basically that's evidence. But she goes on to say ukuthi, but after careful consideration of this case, mina njengondlovukazi ophethe owamanje sengisithathile isinqumo sami. Basically she's saying, I have taken, no matter how much you guys are arguing amongst one another, I have come to my final decision, guys. Eh? Then next thing we see a scene where Umandlovu is speaking again. They just take like an ad break or something like that. But anyway, Umandlovu says, Ndlovukazi amahlangu sukuma. Then ukamahlangu, she gets up. So obviously, when you are getting sentenced in court, you have to stand up with the judge or whenever nomuntu ophethe is sentencing you or reading out isinqumo sabo basically. So uMandlovu goes on to say ukuthi njengoba sesibonile ku-video, it shows clearly ukuthi iNdlovukazi ukamahlangu ayizange idlise owamanzi ushevu. Therefore inkantolo, the court on that charge, ithola ukamahlangu enganalo icala. Basically, according to the video, she's saying uMandlovu is saying, according to the video, we can clearly see that ukamahlangu was not the one who gave the king poison. So on that charge, she is basically innocent. Then while you can see ukuthi uNtando was happy, ukamahlangu was smiling there, but you can see uMandlovu, she's like, kodwa, like to make sure ukuthi ningajabuli too quick, because listen, this is not about to end well anyway. She goes on to say, kodwa ecaleni of unfaithfulness and infidelity, le nkantolo ithola ukuthi ukamahlangu unecala. Basically, when it comes to infidelity and cheating, unfaithfulness towards the king, she is guilty. uMandlovu goes on to say ukuthi ukamahlangu, she is sentenced to banishment from the kingdom for eternity. Basically, guys, what it basically means ukuthi ukamahlangu uxoshiwe ekhahlamba forever, angabisabuyela forever. That is quite harsh, but anyway, sizathini. And everyone is like, yo, you can see everyone is speaking underneath their breaths, guys. They don't know what to say, because it is quite a harsh sentence for her to take such a harsh or rash decision, and uBanzi is not even awake. And amahlangu nje kanjalo, like, why couldn't she say, okay, fine, we're going to take away some duties from you, or you're not allowed to leave ekhahlamba up until the king is awake, or something like that, but to usher her forever, you guys, yo. So everyone is like, yo, like uNtando herself, she is so surprised, because I think she did not expect such a sentence. Everyone is just surprised, but they don't know what to say. Mandlovu goes on to say, ukuthi ungahlala phansi ke kamahlangu. Next thing we see uKhethiwe and uVincent. uKhethiwe is in the room and she is sewing there when uVincent brings her some tea into the room. So Vincent is like, mommy. And uKhethiwe is like, And then uVincent's like, ngiwenzele, like, I've made a black tea for you, with 2 sugars, net ukuthi inkinga ukuthi siphelelwe yi-condensed milk. Ngithi angithi wena uphindisela imali emuva. Now niphelelwe yi-condensed milk. You can't even afford that condensed milk. Iphi le pride yakho, you are busy saying, hey, imali yenyembezi, imali yegazi. Yayidinga ke manje. Condensed milk ayikho endlini, condensed milk ke. So uKhethiwe, she basically sighs. Vincent, he puts down the tea, and then, but you can see ukuthi ngathi ufuna ukukhuluma, kodwa like yangabaza if whether he should speak or what. So uKhethiwe, she just sighs and she looks at him and she's like, ungabuza. Then Vincent's like, hey? And then he catches on ukuthi she caught on ukuthi he wants to say something. uVincent goes on to say ukuthi bemfuna ukubuza ukuthi le ekhahlamba, who controlled iKhahlamba Foundation? uKhethiwe was like, why? uVincent's like, ngifuna ukubuza nje, ngifuna nje umuntu o in charge nje in case kunemali engene nge-accident kule account. uKhethiwe is like, accidentally? kunemali engene accidentally, like to say which you know very well that money did not go in there accidentally. You forced me to send back that money, and you also, the portion that was sent to him, he sent it down accidentally. But uKethiwa goes on to say ukuthi asiyithathi back leya mali. Girl is standing on business. Basically, it's like, angituthe, this is the life you want. Uthi wena uyindoda, you know how to work for your money. Work for your money, ke bhuti. But I'm just like, at the end of the day, Ketty, you are also suffering. But anyway, umshado lento. Okay, guys, then we are back to the royal court, you guys. We are back to the royal court. Now it's time for Iskweba Sigadalukolo. So then uMandlovu goes on to say umntwana uDalukolo bengicela ukuthi usukume. Then uDalukolo gets up on his feet. She goes on to say ukuthi ecaleni of being untrustworthy, le nkantolo ithola unganacala. I was like, what? So uDalukolo from get-go, guys, uDalukolo, he didn't even have questions from anyone coming from him. Angazi ukuthi why, I guess the way things are done eKhahlamba, they favor men over women. uMandlovu goes on to say ukuthi the council discussed icala lakho, they discussed your case, and we concluded that we cannot judge you in this court. Ngathi wowza. We cannot judge you in this court. Owamanzi kuphela who can do that. So therefore, this case is postponed until alulame Owamanzi. Then he will judge this case. So basically, the council will discuss your reinstatement to the royal council. And I'm like, so guys, I need you to understand this. Not only are they saying ukuthi basically they can't touch on this matter when it comes to uDalukolo, so akanacala, but they also saying ukuthi basically uDalukolo is going to resume his duties, he's going to get his entertainment allowance back, his petrol card and all of that. He's going to resume his duties as if nothing happened up until uBanzi gets up. She goes on to say ukuthi ungahlala phansi, and then she goes on to say Mkhandlu, we have completed the day's work, and then everyone says wena wamanzi. I am so surprised, guys. I'm just like, guys, yup. Anyway, guys, we see uBhoto. Bhoto is packing his stuff, and uBhoto, he is adamant ukuthi uyahamba. Then uRejoice noThintiwe mebembuza ukuthi uhambelani, he says ukuthi it's a personal thing. uThintiwe shame they try and beg him ukuthi besicela Bhoto, like ushiya kanjani, we are family, you can't just leave kanjalo. They are frankly thinking ukuthi the reason why uBhoto is leaving is because uNyambo sabotaged his food, and now uBhoto feels like his reputation is gone down the drain of people thinking he can't cook just because of Unyambo said that put salt in the food. So anyway, uThintiwe holds isandla sikaBhoto and she's like, Bengcela, please don't leave us like this. And yeah, like she's basically begging him. And then uBhoto goes on to say, ukuthi angisho like asikho isizathu sokuhlala lana, anginayo nentombi. And uRejoice is like, hayi bo wena weBhoto, like ingathi kunzima kanje, you coming to speak about indaba ukuthi you don't have a girlfriend. Like we are serious here. But anyway, uBhoto is adamant. He says thank you guys for everything, thank you for uthando lweni, and basically he says that, you know, this is it, they can't do anything to make him stay. But yeah, but I just have a feeling, guys, that the reason why uBhoto is leaving like this is because he did mention previously that he wanted to resign, but I have a feeling that the reason efuna ukushiya phansi kanje uBhoto is because uKamahlangwe has been kicked out of eKhahlamba. We all know how uBhoto is so committed to uKamahlangwe, so it could be that he's on some, you know what, if uKamahlangwe was not here, what is the reason for being here? Who really am I serving? Because ngilana ngaye, like I'm here to serve her. But he didn't tell anyone that, guys. That is just my assumption. Anyway, guys, we see uKamahlangwe, she's with uSanusi. Angazi ukuthi maybe bamthumele laphayana or what, maybe angazi. But anyway, uSanusi umnikeza isiwasho ukuthi aphuze, and uSanusi goes on to say ukuthi Usukela namhlanje kaMahlangu, you are no longer part of iKhashamba royal family. Wenze isono esibi kakhulu. Goes on to say, this sin that you have done is the most shameful sins out of all of them. Like izinyanya zaseKhashamba, basically ziyapflathela from today onwards, and goes on to say nalaba baphilayo, basically they are kicking you out and they are turning and disowning you from eKhashamba. So I don't know if it was something of angithi mawungena eKhashamba and you become part of the royal family, there's isiko that is basically done to welcome you and affirm you as one of the royal family. So angazi ukuthi maybe uthunyelwe kusanyusi to basically so that izinyanya are informed that this person is no longer part of our family, of the royal family, because of what they did. So I'm just thinking that's what was happening. Okay, guys, we see uMandlovu, she is dressed beautifully, guys. Angazi ukuthi what's the occasion? Or maybe she feels ukuthi, like, because I feel like that ruling she did to Amahlangu, like it was personal, guys. Like it was really personal, because even the ruling was a bit hefty. Then when it came to Danukolo, like nothing was done, guys. She's wearing a gray beautiful dress. Listen, guys, ingati she's going to some gala dinner. I'm like, what is the occasion? Utindiwe is busy helping her there, putting earrings. The dress, guys, even has feathers. So Taba, she's saying, you know what, today was a good day, basically. So Tindi was like, was the one Ndlovukazi yamanzi, and Mandlovu was like, aputugile, like basically pure water, not just any, like angiyona Ndlovukazi nje yamanzi nje. I am Ndlovukazi of pure water, amanzi aputugile. And she's turning there by the mirror, looking at herself. You can see, yes, umuntu megas bigger spilling, guys. They're not saying anything, but you can see the facial expression which they saying in their heads, damn it, gimuhe man. All she says is, about we as normal, guys, by high shame. She is who she thinks she is. Anyway, again, we see uKamahlangu, she is in her room and she's with uDalukolo, and uKamahlangu is saying Dali, like asambe, siphume siphele lana, like siyokala impilo entsha ne where is she from kanje le kwaNdebele, like let's leave and let's go and start a new life le kwaNdebele, like asithatha untando sidlule eTsakane siyobona ukhethi, then siphume siphele la. uDalukolo's like, guys, like he doesn't really want to answer he doesn't want to answer what uKamahlangu was asking. Dalukolo goes on to say, usho njengamanje. uKamahlangu looks at him like ridiculously, and she's like, gonyabo zayo. Like, yeah, njengamanje, like obviously duh, like now. And then she can see which Dalukolo, like he's a bit hesitant. And then she's like, ngoba sihlalele lana, like yini, like esihlaliseleyo lana, like yini esizoyithola mina nawe lana eKhashamba. Dalukolo goes on to say, sithandwa sam, umbuso uyangidinga. Like uyangidinga umbuso, uzowa umbuso uwe phansi ka. If I leave him, ngenqada ebo no Mandlovu, like if I leave and let ebo and uMandlovu rule, umbuso is going to form. And he basically says, now we bonela sithanda sam ukuthi ebo no Mandlovu ukuthi, like what are they doing? Amahlangu goes on to say ukuthi awusangithandi. uDalukolo is like, usithandwa sami. uKamahlangu is like, awusangithandi, like le ndlela bowukade ungithanda. uDalukolo is like, awukahle sithandwa sami. uKamahlangu goes on to say ukuthi angisekho enhliziyweni yakho, basically. Dalukolo is like, awukahle bambo lwami. And she's like, bambo lwakho? Dalukolo is like, yebo, like ungubambo lwami. Kamahlangu is like, Dali, like ukhuluma like amazwi kodwa like angiwaqondi, like I don't understand these words you're saying to me. Dalukolo goes on to say, like these aren't just words. Wena phela, like wena only, that's basically osenhliziyweni yami. wena ubambo lwami, like what else can I do to show you that? Kamahlangu goes on to say, hayi. Like she looks disappointed because all she wants is uDaluxolo to ukuthi avume to live with her. uDaluxolo goes on to say, wena kuphela sithando sami. Kamahlangu was like, no, awuzizwa, you're not hearing yourself. Daluxolo says, ngiyazizwa, ngilana phambi kwakho. Like, ubani ophambi kwakho manje ngoba yimina uDaluxolo. I'm the one standing here. I'm the one in front of you. I'm the one who's telling you I love you. And yeah, basically reassuring her, basically. Hi there, guys. We see he goes into the office, he opens, not he opens, he knocks on the door, and Mandlovu says, come, not come in, she says, come. Then Umcebo says, ma, ngingangena. Mandlovu goes on to say, wuti, sekahambile. Umcebo says, cha. Obviously, we know wuti, ubuza wuti, ifu kaMahlangu, is she gone already? So umcebo says cha, and then uMandlovu goes on to say ukuthi akahambe phela lo mfazi manje, hayi usalindeni. Umcebo goes on to say bengicela umzuzwana nje kancane nje. Mandlovu goes on to say ukuthi ungakhathazeki ngaleyo video, like akatholanga lutho untandokazi that's penning anything to you. Umcebo says, I cha ma, like I'm not worried about that. Mandlovu goes on to say she goes on to say, kanti yini pho. Umcebo basically goes on to say ukuthi mele sikhulume ma about ukuthatha izintambo nje njengenkosi, basically. So kuyisikhathi, it's time for me ukuthi ngithathe intambo njengenkosi. Mandlovu looks at him and she's like, how can you bring up inkulumo enjalo namhlanje? Wena usase video, like basically you are in videos where basically you are still a suspect and you're coming to bring up this conversation right now. Like she's like, uphila kuphi umhlaba? Like what world are you basically living in? Ubaba wakho usaphila, that's all that matters. Yikho ngiselibamba. Basically, if it was your father still alive and I am just standing in the gap, if your father was not alive, I would have been queen. So like, why are you jumping? Why are you jumping the rope, whatever it's called? So she goes on to say, ukuthi usakude kabi wena uba yinkosi. And you can see that the look I was giving uKamahlangu, guys. He's got tears in his eyes, but you can see it's that vicious look. It's that look that he gave Ubanzi the day Ubanzi said to him, "Wuti, angeke uphathe wena. You will never ever be a leader like eKhahlamba." So you could tell ukuthi the words uMandlovu was saying ukuthi usekude wena uba yinkosi. After he's killed so many people, guys, which it's hurting umcebo, and I knew from there onwards something is brewing in Umcebo's heart, because that look, siyayazi leya look. Anyway, guys, then we see Daluxolo goes and see Untando and basically says to Untando that, listen, ngilana ngizobonga, thank you for helping uKamahlangu. And the way was ngayo, I mean, you were in a court that consists mostly of men, a court that you're not used to, but the way it was ngayo, like, I really need to commend you. Untando's like, angiyiboni into ozoyibongela nje because uqoshiwe uKamahlangu. Unokhuzana uDaluxolo goes on to say ukuthi there's nothing you could have done about that, but I must admit mina iphutha lami. He goes on to say ukuthi iphutha lami nkosazana was ukungabaza. My only mistake was doubting you. Untando goes on to say ngiyabonga, like I couldn't have done it without you. Phela leya notes omnikeze yona kamthethwa, like ishintshe yonke into. Udaluxolo goes on to say ukuthi nabo kunye ke, where your calling is concerned when it comes to royal serpents surrounding you, just know that you can count on me. So this is Daluxolo basically saying that, listen, I see the calling that is upon your life, Ntando, and I am here basically to help you know that ukuthi awukho one la eKhahlamba in this royal affairs, even though it seems like there's a lot going on. I am here to help you. You can count on me. And Untando's like, ubizo lwami, because basically Utando was like, where ubizo lwakho is concerned. So Untando's like, ubizo lwami, like my calling, love. What are you referring to? Utando was like, yebo, ubizo lwakho osazana. Basically, unokozana, Utando, he's finally also seeing what Ubanzi saw before he got into that bad coma. We also see Nyambose, guys, coming to Upoto, basically saying, listen, Poto, if you hamba, nam hamba, basically, saying that we are family. I'm sorry, I don't want you to leave. If uzohamba kanje, I'm gonna go kuMandlovu and tell her, because we can't lose like our top chef. But basically, Nyambose manages to convince Upoto to stay, and Upoto looks like he's staying. I don't know if he's just trying to Unyambose to get him off his back, or if he's really staying. We will see on the next episode, you guys. Anyway, guys, we see Umcebo is wearing gloves, guys. He's wearing gloves, and he's wearing something like a mask. Like a mask, emvala, like from the nose going down, but he can see. He's wearing a mask, and then Melarula, you can see he's going to Ubanzi's room. The guards that sit outside Ubanzi's room, they are sleeping by Lele Ban. And gets into Ubanzi's room, and you can see which Ubanzi is awake. So Ubanza gets to performula with that mask that basically gives him oxygen. When Umcebo gets there, he takes the mask off and he rubs his fuba cigar bands. He goes on to say, Utimpela, like you should have died long time ago. Kodwa usakhona. Ngobani? Like why are you still alive? So anyway, we see Unokuzana, while he's still saying that, then there's a scene that's played where we see what really happened the day Ubanzi got poisoned. So we see Umcebo, he put poison ujaga, he put the poison in the jug, then he poured a glass of water for Ubanzi. Ubanzi drinks the water, but after he's done drinking all of it, Ubanzi notices ukuthi ay man, kuna something kula manzi. But when Ubanzi realizes that Umcebo just poisoned me, that's when he starts coughing and Ukwebu comes out of his mouth. So Ubanzi knows that Umcebo's the one who basically poisoned him. Umcebo goes on to say, ngobani, kusho ukuthi manje wena ufuna ukuthi ngibulale ngezandla zami, because basically I poisoned you wangafi, manje you want me ukuthi ngibulale ngezandla zami. He goes on to say, like, just the way I killed Umkhuseli no Andile, like yilokho okufunayo, angithi yilokho okufunayo, you want me to kill you the same way ngabulala Umkhuseli no Andile ngezandla zami. Umcebo goes on to press, guys, isandla sakhe esifubeni sikaBanzi, and uBanzi is struggling to breathe because obviously the hand is heavy on his chest. Anyway, Umcebo goes on to say ukuthi uthando lwakho bengiludinga, yikho bengiludinga, like I just needed uthando lwakho kuphela. Then he says, when our mans, he takes the pillow, you guys, he puts it upon Ubanzi's face. He says, when our mans, like says those clan names, and then he says Pumula, and he's crying that time, guys. Then we see Ubanzi stops moving, and then Umcebo puts his head on Ubanzi's chest. I don't know if he's double checking if Ubanzi really is not alive, but you can see that this was a difficult thing for Umcebo to do because he's crying there. But anyway, he's like, you know, this maybe in his head is like, this is something that needs to be done. After that, he takes out his gloves, you guys, picks up his mask. Asuli Nyembezi looks at himself in the espilini. Asuli Nyembezi, like to gather himself, and then the episode basically just ends. Umcebo, guys, finishes off Ubanzi. Basically, guys, let's park it right there. Tell me your thoughts on this. Please do make sure you like the video. Please do subscribe. It is absolutely for free of charge, and I'll see you guys on the next one.